Today, we're going to talk about something that's absolutely crucial for our long-term independence, the safety of our own homes. And we're going to zero in on one room. A room that, believe it or not, is statistically the most hazardous, yet it's the one we probably think about the least when it comes to risk. We're going to explore how a few smart, strategic upgrades can transform this space from a hidden liability into a high-performance environment that actively supports your well-being for years, even decades to come. And let me be clear, this isn't about compromise, it's about control. It's about engineering your environment for a long, independent, and really confident life. So let's just start with this powerful truth. I want you to let that sink in for a second. This is not hyperbole for dramatic effect. It's a fact, and it's based on decades of safety research. The very place we think of for privacy and renewal is statistically the epicenter of risk for serious injury in the home, especially for anyone over 60. It's a huge paradox, and it's one we just can't afford to ignore anymore. You see, we feel safe there because it's so familiar, but that familiarity can actually mask the real risks that are built right into the architecture of the room. Our job today is to pull back that curtain of familiarity and see the room for what it is, a functional space that absolutely has to be aligned with our biology. All right, here's our game plan. We'll kick things off by uncovering the hidden truth about bathroom design. Then, we're going to do a deep dive into the anatomy of a fall, so we really get the forces at play. After that, we'll introduce a powerful new way of thinking about this whole thing. From there, it's all about practical, tactical steps with our Sanctuary Hardening Protocol. And finally, we'll talk about the long-term wisdom behind these changes and wrap up with a simple, empowering mission you can start today. Okay, let's jump right into Section 1, the bathroom's hidden truth. Now, the most important thing to get right off the bat is that the rising risk isn't about you becoming fragile, not at all. The real problem is a fundamental conflict between our biology, which is always evolving, and the static, unchanging way our homes are designed. It's a conflict that's been overlooked for way too long. We adapt our whole lives, but our homes, they're kind of frozen in time, built for a standard that doesn't really account for a full lifetime of use.
Now this right here, this is the core concept, physiological mismatch. You see, most homes, and that means most bathrooms, are built based on codes that just assume the peak balance and reflexes of a 30-year-old. But our bodies, well, they're not static. Your vestibular system, that amazing network in your inner ear that's like your body's personal gyroscope, it naturally evolves over a lifetime. This isn't a decline, it's just a change. The risk pops up because you're operating this finely tuned 60-plus-year-old biological system in an environment that was designed for a totally different user. The house isn't adapting to you, so you have to adapt the house.
All right, let's get to the heart of the matter, the anatomy of a fall. You know, to really prevent a risk, you have to understand it first, not just be afraid of it. So we're going to break down the 5 key factors, both environmental and biological, that team up to make the bathroom such a uniquely hazardous space. I want you to think of this as an intelligence briefing. Once you can actually see these invisible forces, you can start to systematically take them apart. First up, the most obvious one is what we call the Aquatic Friction Crisis. This is a unique situation that pretty much only exists in the bathroom. I mean, think about it. Nowhere else in your house do you intentionally mix hard, slick surfaces with the 2 best friction reducers on the planet, water and soap. It creates this little micro-environment where the normal rules of traction just go out the window. A tile floor that's perfectly grippy when it's dry suddenly becomes as slick as an ice rink. It's not a design flaw, really. It's just the physics of the materials we have to use for hygiene. The second force is a kind of sensory deprivation. Your brain is a master at keeping you balanced, but it needs good data, especially from your eyes. When you step into a shower, you're often stepping into a world of white on white or beige on beige, which gives your brain very little contrast to lock onto. You've probably taken your glasses off. Then the steam starts to fog things up, blurring the lines even more. All of a sudden, your brain, which relies on all these visual cues, is forced to navigate without its main set of tools. It's like asking a pilot to land a plane in thick fog with no instruments. It's doable, but the margin for error gets razor thin. And that brings us right to the transition point risk. That simple act of stepping into a bathtub, well, from a balance perspective, it's not simple at all. It's actually a pretty complex physical move. You have to shift your entire body weight onto one leg, keep your center of gravity, lift the other leg high enough to clear a wall, and then plant it on a surface that, as we just said, might be wet and slippery. And you're doing all this while your senses might be a little bit off. It's a routine you've done thousands of times. And that's exactly what makes it so sneaky. That familiarity can lead to one moment of complacency, and in this environment, one moment is all it takes. The fourth factor is an internal one, the orthostatic shift. This is a totally normal thing that can happen to anyone at any age. You know when you stand up a little too fast from a chair or get out of a warm bath? Gravity pulls the blood down, and for a split second, your blood pressure can dip. It can cause that brief but really critical moment of dizziness or lightheadedness. Now, if that happens in the living room, you just grab onto the sofa for a second. But in the bathroom, that same little dizzy spell happens in a room filled with hard, unforgiving surfaces just inches away. The event itself is minor, but the context makes it absolutely critical.
And that leads us right to our final point here, the impact velocity trap. This is the big one. This is what multiplies the consequences of any fall in the bathroom. Materials like porcelain, ceramic tile, and cast iron, they have zero give. They don't absorb any of the energy of an impact. Think about tripping on a carpeted hallway. The carpet and the padding absorb a lot of the force. In the bathroom, all of that force is transferred directly to your body. A simple slip that might just be a bruise somewhere else can easily become a fracture or a serious head injury in there. The room itself turns a small mistake into a big problem.
Okay, we've looked at the risks, we've made the invisible visible. Now we pivot. And this section, right here, is the most important part of our whole conversation. It's where we stop passively understanding the problem and start actively claiming the authority and the power to solve it. This takes a really profound and, I think, empowering shift in your mindset. It's all about moving from reacting to your environment to commanding it. This slide lays it out perfectly. You've got two paths. The old way, the default, is what we call passive habituation. That's where you see the bathroom as just a place to decorate with nice towels. You're trusting in routines you probably developed 30 years ago. The new way, the sovereign way, is active environmental hardening. This is where you completely reclassify the bathroom. It's not just a decorated space anymore, it is a high-performance support zone. Its number one job is to support your biology safely. You stop just decorating, and you start strategically optimizing its infrastructure for your own longevity. This isn't giving in, it's taking charge. And this, right here, illustrates the new identity I want you to try on. Just erase the term senior proofing from your vocabulary. That phrase just implies weakness, decline. It's totally disempowering. You are not proofing anything. You are becoming a sovereign risk manager. You are the CEO, the boss of your personal environment. Just like you manage your finances or your health, you are now proactively managing your physical space to get rid of risk and guarantee your own long-term autonomy. This is an act of power. It's an act of intelligence and serious foresight. So with that powerful new identity locked in, let's get tactical. Section 4 is the Sanctuary Hardening Protocol. This is your playbook. This is your operational plan for creating an environment that supports you through every single movement. The goal here is to achieve what I call kinetic certainty, that deep down confidence that your environment is designed to have your back, to anticipate what you need and to give you stability whenever and wherever you need it.
So here they are, the 5 core tactics of the protocol. And I want you to think of these not as just a random list of tips, but as a complete, integrated system upgrade for the most critical room in your house. We've got the contrast mandate to help your brain see what it's doing, the weight-bearing standard for real physical support, the non-slip overhaul to solve that friction crisis, higher level seating to outsmart gravity, and the light and glow path for safe travels at all hours. Now let's break down what these actually mean. Let's focus on what is probably the most critical and misunderstood tactic of all, establishing the weight-bearing standard. I want to ask you a direct question, and the answer to this could literally save your life or the life of someone you love. Looking at the fixtures in your bathroom right now, can you, with 100% confidence, tell the difference between a flimsy decorative towel bar and a true life-saving stability anchor? Because in that split second of instability, your hand is going to instinctively grab for whatever is closest, and whether or not that object will support you is not something you want to find out in the middle of a fall. This table just breaks it down with brutal clarity. A standard towel bar, it's usually just screwed into drywall with little plastic plugs. Its load capacity is maybe 20 pounds, just enough to hold a damp towel. Its function is decorative. That's it. An ADA-compliant grab bar, on the other hand, is bolted with long screws directly into the wall studs, the strong, wooden skeleton of your house. It is engineered to hold between 250 and 500 pounds of force. Its primary function is to be a stability anchor. One is an illusion of safety, the other is the real deal, and mistaking one for the other in a crisis is a catastrophic mistake. Now let's quickly touch on the other key parts of the protocol. The contrast mandate is just a simple, brilliant hack for your brain.
By using a toilet seat or bath mats or grab bars that are a totally different color from the floor, you give your brain clear visual anchors. This helps it process depth and distance more accurately, especially when it's steamy. The non-slip overhaul directly takes on that aquatic friction crisis. This can be as simple as a high-quality bath mat with a rubber back, or more permanent stuff like high-traction coatings on the tub floor. Higher-level seating, or a comfort height toilet, is just a few inches taller than standard. That little bit makes a huge difference in how far you have to travel when you stand up, which helps reduce the risk of that dizzying orthostatic shift. And finally, the lighting glow path. This is a super simple, cheap upgrade, motion-activated LED nightlights that create a soft path for any nighttime trips, so you're never stumbling around in the dark.
So, now that we have the tactics, let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture. This is all about wisdom for the long game. What we're talking about today isn't just about preventing a fall tomorrow. It's about making a strategic investment in your future. It's about securing your perimeter to guarantee yourself decades of future independence and freedom in your own home. It's the difference between reacting to a crisis and proactively making sure one never even happens.
And if you need one single powerful piece of data to justify this entire strategy, here it is. 8 years. Multiple studies have shown that people who proactively and thoughtfully modify their home environment can extend their ability to live safely and independently by up to 8 years. 8 years longer than those who wait for a fall or a medical issue to force their hand. I mean, just think about what that really means. It's not just a number. It's potentially a decade more of sovereignty, of living life on your own terms, in your own space. That is one of the best returns on investment you could possibly make for your future self.
So I want to give you a new way to frame this whole project. Throughout your entire life, you have adapted to countless changes, new technologies, new jobs, new everything. You are a master of adaptation. This is no different. You're not giving in to age. You are wisely upgrading your environment. Think of it this way. You are simply updating the operating system of your home's most critical room to match the wisdom and experience you've earned, right? We update the software on our phones all the time for better performance and security. This is the exact same logic, just applied to your physical world. It's a sophisticated upgrade for a sophisticated user.
Okay, we've covered the hidden risks, the empowering new mindset, and the tactical protocol. Now, let's bring it all home with a simple, immediate, and totally achievable action. This is your 24-hour mission. Knowledge is only powerful when you apply it. And this is about taking that first decisive step toward total environmental sovereignty.
Here's your challenge. Sometime in the next 24 hours, I want you to go into your bathroom. But don't go in as a resident. Go in with the fresh eyes of a sovereign risk manager. Your mission: identify just one of the invisible threats we've talked about. Maybe it's that slippery little rug on the tile floor. Maybe it's the fact that there's no non-slip net inside the shower. Or maybe it's that decorative towel bar right next to the tub that you now see for the illusion that it is. Just pick one, and then make a simple, concrete plan to neutralize that threat this week. And you know, a great place to start is with the weight-bearing standard. Just researching or buying a real grab bar. It's often the single most impactful first move you can make.
And so we'll end here. Remember, your bathroom is a high-performance machine that has to support your biology. It's not just a room to hang pretty towels in. By shifting our perspective, we turn it from a hidden risk zone into a functional sanctuary that's actually designed to support us. The path forward is crystal clear. The best place to start? It's often by tackling the weight-bearing standard, replacing that illusion of safety with engineered reality. Environmental sovereignty is the foundation of long-term independence, so I hope you can close this explainer with a real sense of calm confidence and hope. Audit the risk, harden the room, and lead your life with the sovereignty you have so clearly earned.